Did you hear the difference? One was smooth and the other was choppy. These are examples of articulations. Just what are they and how can they help us practice? Well, let's find out. Hi, I'm Dr. Lory. Welcome back. In this video, I'll be showing you how to use articulations as a practice technique to help you smooth out your rough spots. So what exactly is an articulation? An articulation is how we play a note. More specifically, it is how we start or end a sound. Articulations add color, dimension, texture. Articulations make the music come alive. Let's talk about some of the articulations that we're going to use in this video. Legato, connected. Staccato, detached. Two-note slur, connected then released. Accent, attack with louder volume. When we play the piano using a legato touch on the keys, we end the note by connecting it to the next note, creating a smooth line of sounds. When we play using a staccato touch, we end the note by releasing it quickly and separating it from the next note, creating a more distinct line of sounds. Each sound stands on its own. When we play using a two-note slur, both notes are played legato, but we end the second note early. So even though the second note is written here as a 16th note, we will interpret it as a shorter note value, followed by a rest. Then during that implied rest, we would simply release the key as if we were taking a breath. When we play using an accent, we start the note by attacking it with a louder volume and connecting it to the next note, creating a line of sound with sudden increases in volume. So now that we have defined what articulations are, how do we use them when we polish rough spots? Let me show you how, with a rough spot from Beethoven's Für Elise, measures 32 through 34. If you don't have this score, click the link below to download it. In the last video, we used a step-by-step practice routine. We talked about isolating a rough spot so we could focus our attention on it. Then we looked for patterns and blocked them. We jackhammered the rough spot into submission, and finally, we applied uneven rhythms. Now let's apply different articulations, our newest practice technique. You can see that this passage is written as legato. To continue polishing this rough spot, I'm going to try the other three articulations to see how they can help. First, staccato. Now, I will try it with two-note slurs. And finally, with accents. Now let's see if this routine has improved my rough spot. I will play the passage as written, which is legato. And already it sounds a little better. We're going to skip a few steps and go right to the end of the practice routine, which will be putting our hands together. Just one thing. If your hands aren't getting along with each other on a rough spot, there is an optional step you can take first. Take your hands off the keys. Using the fall board or your lap, tap the rhythms, hands together, while counting aloud. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 1. Why do we do this? Well, if we can't coordinate our arm muscles, then adding the fine motor skills in our fingers is going to be frustrating and not very productive. Tapping creates muscle memory in our arms so that we can focus on the finer details, and we can hear the combined rhythm created by both hands. Let's put everything together. Remember, not every technique works for every passage, so you will want lots of choices in order to customize your practice, adjusting based on each passage and which techniques work for you. And here's another thing: boredom. We all get bored when we practice. The mind wanders. But by changing things while you practice, you engage your brain, reduce tedium, and experiment with different sounds. When you do all of this, you'll find something interesting happens. You gain improved technical skills and more control of your hands. And you'll find that every time you perfect a rough spot, you'll be better able to handle future rough spots. Here's something else I tell my students. When you practice rough spots with different techniques, you build a roadmap that you can use when there's a problem on the road ahead. Just like a GPS system that gives you alternate routes to get home, your practice routine gives you alternate ways to play the passage to help you play it perfectly. Let's go over what we learned in this video. We talked about using different articulations to smooth out rough spots and adding those to our practice routine. We found that using different pathways makes practicing more fun, reduces boredom, and improves your technique and control. We use different practice techniques to build many roads leading to the same place, a perfect passage. In part 3 of this series, we'll add even more practice techniques: speed, length of the isolated spot, and fingerings. So stay tuned. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe. I have also enjoyed reading your comments. Keep them coming. You can contact me on my website if you would like to schedule live online piano lessons. Until then, keep on practicing.